Did you know that Australia is home to nearly 23 million people, yet it also has over 200 million rabbits? That's almost 10 times more rabbits than humans. In Australia, rabbits are considered one of the most destructive invasive species. The government officially classifies them as pests because they damage crops, destroy ecosystems, and push native species toward extinction. Australia has tried almost everything to eliminate them: fences, poisons, diseases, yet rabbits continue to survive. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While Australia fights rabbits as a disaster, China deliberately imported millions of them, not for food, not for pets, but for one of the boldest environmental experiments in human history. And the results shocked the world. When fertile land slowly transforms into barren wasteland, the process is called desertification, and one of its biggest victims is China's Kabuki Desert. At its worst point, the Kabuki Desert was expanding at a terrifying rate, swallowing nearly 500,000 acres of land every single year. Villages disappeared, farmland died, and people were forced to migrate just to survive. The Chinese government launched multiple projects during the 1950s and 1960s. They built sand control stations, they planted trees, they spent massive resources, but nothing worked. The desert was simply too powerful. Everything changed when a local entrepreneur named Wang Wenbao decided to take a risk no one else would. Instead of fighting the desert directly, Wang tried something different. He began laying dry shrubs in square grid patterns across large areas of sand. These grids reduced wind speed and trapped moisture. Inside those grids, he planted willow trees, a species capable of surviving extreme drought. Willow trees are special. Their roots can dig hundreds of feet underground to search for water. Their wood is valuable for paper and furniture industries, but survival wasn't guaranteed. The Kabuki Desert is known for violent winds that blow sand away, stripping the soil of any remaining moisture. To protect young willow trees, Wang surrounded them with shrubs to block the wind. At first, people laughed at him. "Who plants trees in a desert?" they said. But Wang wasn't done yet. After 3 years, the willow trees survived, but a new challenge appeared. For the wood to be commercially valuable, new branches had to be trimmed constantly, forcing the tree's main trunk to grow thicker and stronger. Doing this manually in the desert was expensive, slow, and nearly impossible. That's when the rabbits entered the story. China introduced a specific breed called Rex rabbits. Rex rabbits are famous for their incredibly soft fur, often compared to otter fur, making it highly valuable in luxury clothing. But their most important trait wasn't their fur. Rex rabbits love eating young willow shoots. As rabbits naturally fed on the new branches, the willow trees responded by strengthening their main trunks, exactly what the paper industry needed. The rabbits fed themselves. The trees grew stronger, and the wood sold for high prices. Environment and economy began working together. As willow roots stretched deep underground, something incredible happened. They stabilized the sand. Wind could no longer lift it easily. Moisture stayed trapped in the soil instead of evaporating. Then the rabbits revealed their second superpower. Rabbit waste turned out to be a high-quality organic fertilizer. In China's zero-waste system, it became a valuable resource. As rabbit populations increased, soil fertility increased with them. Within years, sand slowly transformed into arable land. Vegetables began growing, grass returned, and there was more. Rex rabbits digest grass, but not grass seeds. Those seeds passed through their bodies and were naturally replanted across the land. Without human effort, grass began spreading on its own. The system became completely self-sustaining. Rabbits trimmed trees, trees stabilized the soil, rabbit waste fertilized the land, grass spread naturally, fur was sold for profit. The desert was no longer dying. It was evolving. Encouraged by success, Wang scaled the project. He hired 100 bulldozers, leveled sand dunes, filled pits, and expanded willow plantations. With government support, millions of Rex rabbits were distributed to local families. Every household became a mini farm. Over 10 years, the entire region transformed. According to UN reports, the Kabuki Desert covers 18,600 square kilometers. Over 33% of it, more than 6,200 square kilometers, is now green. What was once called the Sea of Death is now known as an ecological marvel. The Chinese government invested nearly 3 billion yuan, around $400 million to support local development. New villages were built, jobs were created. Today, over 2,000 farms operate in the region. 3 million rabbits are sold every year. The average farmer earns nearly $9,600 annually. People who once fled the desert are now building wealth there. So why are rabbits a nightmare in Australia but a miracle in China? Because control matters. Australia released rabbits into the wild with no predators or management. China kept them inside a controlled ecological system, limiting their impact while maximizing their benefits. Same animal, different approach, different outcome. The story doesn't end here. Kabuki is also home to the world's largest solar panel image, known as the Junma Solar Power Plant. Built across 6,000 acres with nearly 5 million panels, it forms the shape of a galloping horse when viewed from space. By 2022, the plant had generated 2.3 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity, saving 7,600 tons of coal, 1.8 million tons of CO2 emissions. But it does more than produce energy. Solar panels block sunlight, reducing evaporation beneath them. Grass grows naturally below, and once again, rabbits maintain it. They eat grass, spread seeds, fertilize the land. Wind speed drops by 50%, sand movement slows, and new fertile soil forms naturally. Today, sheep, goats, ducks, and rabbits coexist beneath solar panels and willow trees. Grass covers the ground where nothing once survived. A place once destined to die has become a model for the future. Researchers now call this system an eco-economic revolution. With nearly 40% of Earth's land facing desertification, the message from Kabuki is clear: when humans work with nature instead of against it, even deserts can bloom.